wants to host too. So here we are, Tech Tuesday, November something.
15th.
15th. Here we go. So let's start off with questions. I know sometimes we have burning questions. Somebody's trying to do something, make something, do something. And we can start there and then we'll see where it progresses. And then if we need to, we can talk about some other stuff.
Yeah, I'd like to see what Natalie's questions are for the group. This is her first time here. Natalie,
Welcome, Natalie.
unmute yourself.
Being called out already, Ruben. Calling you out.
Hey, I'm an instructor, you know. Got to see what my students know.
Every day I realize I don't know what I don't know.
Okay.
And I don't know a lot that I'm supposed to know.
Welcome to the group.
You're
That's
in the
okay,
right,
Natalie. You're
right
in
place.
good company. Yeah.
Yeah, you're in the right place for all that. I had I saw the message, I think it was on Insiders or Affiliates, I can't remember, last night, of somebody who's been binge watching all the Tuesday trainings, and she was like, I've just seen you so often, I feel like we're best friends. And I was like, that's hilarious. I was like, she said she's watching us in chipmunk mode, and I was like, can you imagine ER and I in chipmunk mode?
I thought I spoke fast to begin with. Imagine it in chipmunk mode, right? Well, Natalie, first of all, welcome to the call. If you have any questions at all, our number one goal here is for everybody in the community to be as successful as possible. So there's no bad question. There's no anything like that. We want to help. So whether it's learning how to use the tech to build or how to share or strategies or anything like that, you have a community behind you. Also, I know Ruben's already mentioned this to you, but I'm just going to reiterate it. There are 2 social groups. You'll want to check those out. The big one for users is LFI Insiders. So that's a great place that if you have a quick question or need help with anything, it's a great place to post, because typically before we at the corporate side can even get back and answer that, there are community members who are already providing suggestions and input. The other resource I would say is the YouTube channel, and that's in fact where we typically live stream a lot of the calls and lives that we do. And there's a lot of information on YouTube as well. But from a tech standpoint, this call is the number one call. Every Tuesday, we do a Technology Tuesday call where we talk about all things tech related on LFI. So everything regarding Shuffle, everything regarding Tap, the features within them, how to leverage them. You know, if it's how do I add a picture to my card, we can solve for. If it's how to trackable link or lead capture, we'll go through it. So any questions you have, this is the spot.
Hey, ER, guess what? We're blessed. We have another newbie that just dropped in. Linda
right.
Charter. Hey, Linda, welcome.
Great to have you on, Linda. Same goes to you as well. Great spot to get everything answered. So welcome to the community.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we already had a question. It's and it's sort of Shuffle related, because it's something that I think a lot of us attach to our Shuffle. And it's what calendar is everybody using? So Shelly, can you, I don't know if you can share, what are you trying to do with the calendar?
Yeah, you know, it's for a call to action, and the call to action would be sign up, right? What are they signing up for? I want them to book an appointment with me because I'm a life coach, hypnotherapist, aromatherapist. Can't tell that I don't like oils, right? Hate them. So I want them to have a call to action. Call to action would be to get them through a calendar so that they can book an appointment with me.
Okay.
So I'm having a problem with Calendly. For some reason, it's hanging up. It's not booking things. People are reaching out to me. I'm like, okay, I'm done with Calendly then. So I'm going to try yours and see if it doesn't link up a little bit better.
Interesting. Yeah.
Have you known of anything, ER, that like, or guide that maybe some of the calendars don't?
I mean, that was my first thought, is Calendarly, but obviously even Anna has said
Calendly?
multiple times Calendarly is not a great one.
Okay.
I'm actually on Google right now. The benefit here is if you find one that works, or if anybody has one,
That's
it's
what I'm
always
asking.
just taking a button that says book an appointment and linking it to it. But we want to find solutions that we plug into the software that are stable. Mr. Snow, Mike, you've got your hand up. I bet you have a few examples that you've used in the past. So any insight you can provide, please go ahead.
Yes, I've used Calendarly. I got a lot of clients that are on it. It is glitchy until you pay for it. It gets a little bit better, but then it's still not as good as You Can Book Me. You can dot book me
Cool.
or you can book dot me. That's it. You can book dot me. It is the best. I've been using it for years. It has texting involved. It has email involved. It does everything, and I recommend it. I'll put it
Is-
like that.
Is it the letter U or do you write out
Posted it in the
Y-O-U?
chat for everybody, guys.
YOU.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And I posted it straight to the pricing page just for easy reference, everybody. There are two pricing options on You Can Book Me. There's a free forever one with basic scheduling features. So depending on what your needs are. And then there's a paid plan. Looks like it's about $10 per month. So the only other thing outside of Calendarly that I've ever tried to use is I use Google Calendar, but I don't know if there is necessarily a booking engine within Google Calendar itself. I do know G Suite, the Google Suite that offers the calendar, the email, the chat, all of that type of stuff may have one of those options. But I love third-party plugins. So things like this, You Can Book Me, sounds awesome. In fact, Mike, thank you. I'm going to end up checking this one out myself because I've toyed with the Calendarly and I've had those results where it seems spotty and stuff like that.
I'll tell you right now, you're gonna like You Can Book Me because
Yeah.
it integrates with everything, and I've been using it all these years, and my clients kind of love it. They're like, "Wait a minute," they booked, and then it was like, "Well, Mike, all of a sudden I got this email, and I also got a text, 10 minutes before saying don't forget." I'm
Yeah.
like, it's automatic.
I love it. I think this is, I want to take a step back and talk specifically to what Shelly's talking about. And I don't know if you heard her, but like the goal is to have a call to action. She's starting to speak the vernacular that is it within the LFI, lexicon here. And over time, I think we're all going to start speaking that common language where we talk about what is the goal of the card? What are the elements that support that goal? What is the order of the elements, right? What are the calls to action, like what Shelly was just talking about? And then what is the design, right? What makes it look all pretty? And obviously in Shelly's case, she's saying, hey, you're in front of my card. Your eyes are looking at the material I just sent you. And the goal of this card is to get you to book with me. For those of you who are new on this call, you heard from Mike Snow just a moment ago. He's got a little QR code sitting in his background like many of us do. This is an opportunity for you to check that out, okay? Linda, Natalie, if you've never done that before, that goes directly to a lead capture form on Mike's page, and he offers a free assessment. Again, the call to action is to set up a time to get the free assessment, all of that type of stuff. So there is a path within how you're using the cards that you can leverage it to say, if you meet with clients on a regular basis, provide them a path to book with you. I think this is also a path that could be used by, salons if they have clients, preferred clients. Hey, you want to book your upcoming appointment with me, etc. Here's a quick and easy way to have access to me, like an app on your phone. Save them to the home screen and click this when you want to book your hair appointment, and then go into the booking section and you can book me type of thing. So I think this is one of those things where when we think beyond Shuffle as a platform for a digital business card and more, how can we use it as an engine or as a platform that supports certain parts of our existing system or process? That's what we want to be thinking about. So if you're somebody who does a lot of appointment booking, you might even create a standalone My Booking card that just has the book time with me.
Right. And I've been really, that's a good point, because I've been pretty successful in getting one-to-ones online with them in mind. In other words, what's good for you, pick a date, pick a time that'll work for you. And I did it within Shuffle because I want to really Shuffle, show them. So I put a copy of that in the chat. It's Coffee with RC, and you'll see basically it's really simple to construct, and essentially it's something that's homegrown.
Well, and guys, since we're in a collaborative environment real quick, I'm just going to pull that up. Thanks for sharing that, Ruben. Guys, if you have a card to share, let's talk about it. This is all about using the technology, and we want some real world examples. So Ruben, He's got his card, right? Let's look at the details on here. Good visual and everything. Name, online relationship marketing, ways to get a hold of them. And then here's setting up for the call to action, right? Invitation. There you can fill that out, submit it, right? Let's say somebody fills it out best time of the week, and then Ruben maybe even sends him his booking card next. This could be the filtering process that says, these are the people who are raising their hands that show that they want to set up a coffee with me. And then Ruben, over time, you might even replace the form straight with the booking link. And then it's like, you're ready to book a coffee with me? Great. It's on your schedule. You book it. It's going to go into my calendar. And if you're smart about how you manage your booking calendar, I'm going to classify that as a subset of your regular calendar, guys, because you don't want to give people access to your day. You want to control your time. We talk about time blocking. We talk about what's important right now in our business. We talk about prioritizing and allocating blocks of time to do things. You might assign within that, and I'm assuming they do this on the You Can Book Me, Mike, where you can say, this is my availability. You know, so if you say, I only do my coffee calls on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 8 a.m. till 10, that's what's available to be booked if it's open and schedulable on your calendar. So they're going to work within their time frame as long as it works within your time frame, but it gives them more power and more control to make the booking or choose their date. And again, a big factor is compressing time. So the timeline to get something booked. Have we ever all been in that situation? I email you, you email me. What are you available? I'm happy to work around your schedule. I'm happy to work around yours. Here's 5 time windows. Here's 3 time windows. And it's like, wow, you know, I guess I should have just called you and then talked to you and we could have put something on the calendar instead of sending 20 emails back and forth. This is that time saver that says, hey, here's my calendar, schedule what works for you. Lickety split. You know what I mean?
So Guy and ER, you guys are both gonna set those up so that we know when we can book you for things. That'd be great. Okay, but I'm writing that down. They're working on that now.
Right. I want to close in saying this. I had a friend one time, an eight-figure earner in direct sales, and he used to say, you can use my office hours and get a hold of me at any time. My office hours are between 9 and 9:15 on Tuesdays. You know, just going to throw that out there. I really like that, but no,
that's not helping.
If part of your conversion process and generating revenue in your business requires you to interact with your potential prospect or your customer, then it's going to behoove you to find a way to be more efficient in your scheduling.
But I think this goes to, right, a couple different things with Shuffle specifically is one, the whole point of your digital business card is to either give information or get information, right? So you're using it for the purpose that you want to personally use it for, right? Some people, that's not what they need it for. And they don't need, so you don't have to have a calendar, right? But if the calendar is what's helpful to you, it can either be part of your main card because that's something that, you know, that's the way you do business, or that's the, you know, the goal is networking and setting up, you know, a connect or a face-to-face or whatever you call them. And then you could have the secondary card, right? So how many times do we get that question? Why do I need 10 business cards? So maybe this isn't part of your initial card. That's, you know, more of your introduction card. But then the minute that comes up where it's like, hey, let's set up a time to get together. Let's set up a time to meet. Then you go ahead with that second card that has the booking. Hey, I have a card. Let me send you something. It's got my calendar attached to it.
Yep.
Make it really simple for both of us to get something booked.
Yep. Mike, you have something to add there?
I put the link in the chat so you could pull it up and you can see how it integrates into my website and it's embedded in my website.
Actually, I was going to pop that open right now. If you guys saw, it's the Mike's card, and here is it integrated directly in here, and you can see the available time slots as well. So pretty powerful and just offering a frictionless way for people to book time with you guys. Again, we're just trying to lower friction and get the people we're interacting with to move forward in whatever process or system we have them in.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Okay. Any other questions? I know we just had Danielle
I have a question for Mike.
just joined us. Yeah.
If I set that up and I have open slots and then somebody calls me and they want to speak to me at that time, can I go in there and then take that slot away so that it's not available? Well, somebody wouldn't double book.
You can cancel the slots anytime, but what I do is I don't run my life. My calendar runs my life. If they call me on the phone, go see my calendar.
Mhm.
Well, Mike, why can't go see my calendar? Calendar runs my life.
So if I was to paraphrase that, Mike, if I called you to set an appointment, you'd send me a shuffle card with a link to this
I
page.
send you my card, and it has
So that
the
way
link.
everybody comes through one pipeline or one conduit to take that one action. I think that's.
And I learned that from you.
Yeah, when we talk
One
about
spot.
creating the efficiencies or optimizing our business, we don't want to send people to 10 different places to do 10 different things. We want to send them to the source, and we want to keep that source consistent so that everybody goes to the same place. Yes, you could probably sync it up with your calendar so that if you book an appointment in your calendar manually, it might remove it from the available time slots. But if somebody's calling to book with you, get in that habit. Great. Here's the card to book with me. Again, think about this. We've talked about how do we use Shuffle to support us in different processes. If you get those calls all the time, like frequently asked question calls, and we all get them, right? New customers, potential prospects, right? These are the objection questions, or these are the, I just purchased, now how do I use my product type questions, or I just joined the team, now what do you want me to start doing questions? I mean, those are 3 individual cards there, right? Prospect card, FAQ, new customer FAQ, new team member getting started or FAQ, right? And we all know that because we get those questions 5 times a day, and we spend 20 minutes to an hour on with somebody answering those questions. And we're sitting there going, well, we're doing that. That's like 2 hours a day of my life that I'm answering the same thing. You take an hour and you build a card that says, hey, here are the frequently asked questions that you might have as a prospect, or after receiving your product as a customer, or after joining my team. And somebody calls you, and to what we were just talking about with Mike, like on booking time, I would say, hey, I'd love to answer those questions. I put together a card that answers everything. I'm sending it to you right now. And then you send it to them, and the conversation goes from an hour-long conversation to a 2-minute, I'm going to send you something. Do you want it sent via text, or do you want me to email it to you? Now you can sort of push out the data through the channel that they prefer, but make sure they get the information that, is the right information, the right
And then
person.
when they want to talk to you still, you say, did you watch the video first?
Right? And if you still want to talk to me, go over here and book some time with me.
That's right. That's right. Hey, Neff, how are you doing?
Muted.
He's working on it. You can tell he's finding it. There it is.
I didn't know if that was a Jeff, because my wife's name is Beth. And so sometimes I'm like, are they asking for me or my wife? Which she's a lot smarter than me, so she could probably help. The reason I raised my hand real quick, I'm just, me, I like to sit and absorb for a little bit, but you guys hit the FAQs and you're all sitting there saying, oh, that sounds like a good idea. But you know what? When it comes to the frog, writing FAQs and then writing an intelligent answer is a frickin' big fat frog.
Nothing more
I just
sexy,
did.
right?
I spent yesterday, I said to myself, I got around to watching some football last night, and I was like, crap, did I get anything done? I go, well, I did the FAQs, and I'm looking at them right now on the other screen. Again, I will just, but like from the mindset of the person who's been asking you those questions, they're not you, but they're asking you, do I have to do this? Is this safe? Is it secure? What's the cost? What if I do this? What if I don't like it? And I've crafted some FAQs that can be twisted into, because again, I modeled these, but there's also what I call the set them up on the tee. You guys might like this. Use questions like here's what I did. I got 2 sets of FAQs. I've got the first set is I've done some copy and some stuff, and I said, you know what, this is pretty good, but I've already kind of covered some of this stuff, but people still have questions. So I transformed, and again, I don't know what this is going to look like. I got to test it, but I took some of the features and benefits of the service or product, and I wrote the question in such a form that I'm putting the big fat softball there, and I'm ready to go, right? If you swung a bat, I can imagine you'd probably crush it 400 yards out of the Colorado baseball park. But the point is set up those questions that really are selling your
Yeah.
product or service and the benefits with the questions. And then, so here's what I did, just, and you guys can beg, borrow, steal this as you want. And I'm welcome to show it, but I'll just give it to you. Here's a few questions we get about fill in the blank. And then I put our product. Can blank your product or service really do such and such? And then, oh, definitely it's da, da, da. And then you get to sort of do a little brag bullets, correct? Right. And so do that think through your product and see what are some ways that I can set the ball up on the tee for myself, right? Have you ever done that before? Where you put the ball on the tee and you take the bat because there's no one to play with. And then you get into what I call the dirt, the nitty gritty that are the more, how do I get a refund? How do I, do I have to install or download anything? All the questions that are kind of the yucky FAQs that you sort of have to go through. So does this make sense, guys?
Mhm.
And usually the best place for this is near the bottom of your site or your card. And there's no reason why you can't have your card and just nail a few quick questions so that you don't have to be asking, yeah, there's 12 amino acids, or this is how you order, or no, you don't go to that site, you got to go to this site.
Yeah.
Just think through the mind of you when you were at the beginning, or your customers or your potential prospects if you're in network marketing, and
Yep.
ask yourself, what are they thinking when they know absolutely nothing?
Yep.
Right? They don't know there's a diamond trip. They don't know about amino acids or, lectin and all this other stuff. So anyway, hopefully that helped.
Two things I want to tease out of Jeff, what you just shared there. The first thing is, if you've been in your business for a while, there's a good chance that you've heard these same questions over and over and over again, and that's going to incite within you what to sort of phrase in your question thing. So be aware of that. If you're in your business new, you might want to ask other people in that business, what are the frequently asked questions, or start to gather those as you interact with your audience. The second thing, Jeff, really speaks to what we talk about when building a card. And if you heard Jeff, he said, sometimes I'll put those FAQs down at the bottom of the page, okay? When we think about the card, right, we were talking about what's the goal of the card, what is the elements, what is the order. The FAQ might be elements that you're talking about I need within my card because they're going to address potential objections as somebody scrolls on the page. But we have to prioritize those elements on our page, right? You don't necessarily lead with the FAQs if they still don't know what the product offering is. So you want to prioritize your card and put calls to action throughout that card, potentially based on your layout, so that as somebody gets their objections addressed, right? I didn't know what the product was, now I do. Am I ready to buy? Click the button buy. No, I'm not ready to buy. I need to scroll a little bit more. Oh, wow, look at all these other people who use the product. Those are testimonials. Again, another element on the card. Oh, wow, okay. I've heard from not just the company and what the product is and what it does, but testimonials of people who've done that before. Now I'm ready to buy. Click the call to action, go to buy. Nope, I'm still got some lingering questions. I'm going to scroll a little bit further. Oh, look at these FAQs. Now it's addressing all of my potential buying objections. And then I'm going to click on the call to action to buy. So you can start the sequence when we talk about those 5 elements, right? Where we're talking about goal, elements, order, call to action, design, that order is a critical component on how you lay out your pages in order to maximize the conversion that your pages are going to have.
And again, this to me goes back to the same, the same thing where you can have this at the bottom of the page. You can also have a card that just has your FAQs, right? Here's the
100%.
things like, I do this for my networking group, right? So when you join, you get a different card when you're being invited as a guest, but as soon as you join, here's the things you need to do, the things you need to know as a new member. So that's going to go out at a different time. So it may be something that's attached to the original site as a button. It may be something that's also separate that you're able to send out at any time when someone has just a question, kind of like we talked about with the nonprofit, right? So if somebody had a question, I just went in there as those questions came in and I just updated them and made them relevant to the questions we were getting at the time. So.
Yep. And this is why we always say, the right information to the right person at the right time, right? So you can either send them one card that has sort of operates like a single page funnel, or it might be the onboarding card to one of your existing funnels. I know, Jeff, you talk about that often. It might be the one element like we talked about where it's, here are answers to questions. Here's a way to book me. Here's my business card with my contact information. And they operate as 3 separate cards. The big key that we don't want to do, what we want to avoid, and this is the trap that a lot of people get into, is they overwhelm somebody with information on a card, right? You give them everything and you open up the fire hose and then they don't know what to do. So if you keep it in consumable chunks and it makes sense with the flow, you'll see a lot more flow through your card than you would otherwise.
Hey, AR, can you share the fire hose I just posted?
Yes, I can. I was just going to say, I didn't want to call you out on this, Ruben, but it is a fire hose. You know, this is what I would call a link hub or a link tree, and they serve a purpose. This is, if you looked in the chat, Ruben had posted, hey, this is a card I send out with LFI micro training. And the only suggestion I would put on here is either making sections to break up those links, and guys, we'll see this in just a second, or you know, making sure you're prioritizing the links itself so that the top ones are at the top and the lower ones that are less used are at the bottom. Again, everything's a prioritization. So you can see in here, elevate your business, simplify your life, follow the micro training videos will enhance your value and add to your shuffle experience type of thing. And I like it. Introduction. Each one of these is a different thing. Again, if these are going to videos and stuff like that, you might want to section them like getting started, you know, building cards, you know, creating campaigns and breaking it up that way. But as you can see, there's a lot of power within a shuffle card because you can add unlimited buttons and links to your card. And then obviously, again, if we're prioritizing our information, Ruben's less interested in giving them his social and his contact information and more interested in providing them the value that he said was on the card, the micro trainings. So he's not going to put his contact information and picture at the top. He's going to put it at the bottom on how he prioritizes his elements. But still, again, great card, and it can serve a great purpose, especially if the alternative, guys, this is the other thing. What is the alternative? I always have to ask myself when I'm doing things. If the alternative is I have nothing, something is better than nothing for sure, right? I mean, we even heard the wrong decision is better than no decision at all, guys. So that's why Ruben, I commend you on making and putting together this card. I know it took a lot of time. I know it took a lot of time to put in those links. I would just offer those suggestions. Put in some breaks, maybe consumable chunks of 5 or 6 links. Consider that if some of those links are linking to videos, you could use the YouTube or Vimeo to actually embed the video itself so somebody doesn't have to click on a button and leave the card to do the micro training. You might want to say, like, maybe this is the primary video for each section. And then if you want additional videos, you back that up with a different card that has the additional videos for that section. We could go wild on all the ways to sort of slay the dragon of helping somebody answer questions or get training or do those types of things in any respective business, right? This card could be used to train on, I'm going to pick Shelly here, best uses for essential oils. And then it's like, here's every issue that is a common issue, and here are the 3 essential oils that are related to solving that issue, and here's the video on how to use it and where to apply it and when to do it, and then here's the button to go buy it.
I'm thinking color code too. You could color code sections like these things are related.
Yep.
Something like that.
And again, just things to break up the mind, because I know when the mind sees lots of things, you have to imagine it's like going in all directions and it's going, ooh, too many decisions. What do I do?
What's important? What's first?
Yep.
Hold on one second. We have, I think, pretty quick explanations to a couple of questions I have in chat. So adding additional containers in Advanced Builder. So the containers, actually, you don't want to add containers. ER, do you want to talk to that?
Yeah, avoid that trap in the Advanced Builder. It's a little bit more technical, just from a design and what we call in development the WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. It's a giant acronym. It's a mouthful. WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. You know what I mean? And that's really what you're building in the Advanced Builder. You're dragging or putting things in. A container is sort of like what it sounds like, a container. Imagine a Tupperware container without the top, and you're just putting things in that container, and that container is going to hold my picture, and it's going to hold my logo, and it's going to hold my video. You have to think of your card as one big container. And we're mobile optimizing these pages here, guys, so that that they're built with the viewer in mind being on their mobile phone. So just focus on one container. We do have it in the backlog to remove the add container section. It's a little bit of a trap. If internally we do some custom templates where we use multiple containers, but for a majority of all cards out there, one container, and instead of using add container, you want to use add element.
Yep. Oh, add, clone, and hide. That's all you want to do. Add, clone, and hide. You don't even delete. Just add, clone, and hide.
Yep.
So therefore that it stays in the spaces, in the rows, the way that it's built, the way that it's meant to be. It was something that was being developed that we're going to actually develop differently. So it's actually going to be removed from that, and it's going to become a lot easier.
We're simplifying the WYSIWYG. We're simplifying the WYSIWYG.
That's a good question. So has anybody noticed anything different lately? Because I have.
Uh-oh.
Shelly noticed it. What's different? What's updated? I don't know if she can
I
get
just
on
noticed
there.
some of my cards were different, like the GUI interfaces and stuff were all a little different in colors and stuff. And I thought, hey, I didn't do that to my card.
Oh,
So I
interesting.
thought, oh, what's interesting? What's up?
I didn't notice that. There's a new way to do something. Anybody notice it?
Well, Kathy, teach us.
I was gonna say, is
Anybody
this
add
mobile?
anybody add a new contact on mobile lately? Oh, look at everybody. Everybody should go check out add contact on their mobile. Look at guy smirking.
Wow.
Yeah, it looks a little different.
Where
Looks a
are-
little.
So the bottom part of my cards look different too. Like this part of my
Oh.
cards.
Yep, the
Where you
preview
can
stuff.
share and the and do the editing and stuff and share the QR code. I love that. Love that.
Click economy, reduce,
Yes.
make it much faster to share.
Thank you.
It's making it much easier to add a contact too, because you don't have to scroll down to see everything. It's just right there. Anna's shaking her head. Everybody's looking now. Oh, I love it. Let's see, another question. Masking the URL to have everything be kind of almost a white label. So that's a whole nother beast. Guy or Yar, do you guys want to talk about that?
Yeah, and we did talk briefly about that, I think, last week a little bit. We
Mhm.
talked about some big things. We do not create URLs. So this is another third-party thing, just like we were talking about the calendar type of stuff with the book. What you can book me, right? So we're looking at how do we leverage third-party tools. So if you've bought a URL, maybe you bought a URL that's your name. I know I own erwolf.com. Kathy, you've got kathyiinman.com, annabrooks.com, etc. If you have that URL, you can forward that URL to a LFI card. You can also do what's called URL masking or address masking that will change what it looks like. Again, we're just trying to make our cards look pretty. Now, obviously, there's a subset of viewers who do look at the URLs and they, oh, what does this URL have in it? I'm one of those types of people. But for a majority of your users, guys, or your viewers, for a majority of people viewing your card, they'll never really see the URL. So typically where we find that that's most valuable is if you're talking to people, trying to give them something to type in, right? Something to type in. Go to erwolf.com. Not, you guys don't go do that. I haven't even forwarded my URL, but it's easy to remember that as opposed to go to app.lfi.com/vbc/ax12x3. Don't forget the T equals ? All of that type of stuff. Those are the long URLs that are meant to do the analytics and the tracking and all of that type of stuff. And those work well if they're contained within hyperlinks, where you've sent somebody the link and they're just going to click on it, or you've typed up an email and then you use the highlight the text and you add a link to it and you mask it as a click here and then it goes to a long URL. But you're going to do that within your domain registrar. So if you use GoDaddy, you would log into GoDaddy. I think we talked on the last call. It's probably one of the more user-friendly platforms. You go to manage your domain, and as you scroll through that page, you'll find URL forwarding. and then you can adjust what it forwards to.
Mike or Jeff, do either of you guys do anything where you hide it, or does it always
Like
forward?
masking or anything.
Masking, yeah. Mike, do you do that?
Yeah, I do it all the time, but I was getting ready to show you one, but the one that I sent you already was basically an embed, and it wouldn't show it to you. But exactly the link that I put in there, you'll see it's Mike Snow Digital / basically book, and that's actually an embed that's in my website, but it's masked inside of my website. So it's sort of what she's talking about as far as masking, but not exactly. The masking inside, when you go and actually mask the URL, how you want to say it? You mask another hyperlink or URL inside of the actual your provider is a little bit different, and then you have to do a little bit of work and description to make sure it stays masked, because sometimes they don't.
So
Could be
Mike
true.
would be a good person to get his information and get on his calendar.
Yep.
Okay, I think we got all the questions from chat. I don't know who was first. Jeff, you want to go ahead?
Anna,
and
go ahead.
Anna was first. Okay, Anna, go ahead.
Wow, this is fast moving today. Lots happening. I want to ask the question, when you're, I love Ruben's card. I do. I really do. But I know that we spent several weeks covering specific topics on Wednesday evenings, and they were going to get broken down to individual videos. Is that still happening?
Oh, was that Kathy, your Wednesday training that you did a while back?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I will let everybody know all of those videos are sitting on Kathy's computer right now. So
Okay.
Anna, just keep cracking the whip, and maybe we'll see those show up in the YouTube.
Well, I PM'd her. I let her know that, I have a 15 authors on a book
Yeah.
that, need to be trained. I don't want to go through that long list of trainings with them.
Yeah.
But Susie introduced the tap card too. And there's a lot more questions than I want to take the time to answer, because I'm not as techy as a lot of people are. I don't have the languaging down, but I do know people who do. And the network for these particular women is well over 3 million people.
Yeah.
So
they
we
wanna
can
take
do
a little
we can do a separate training, just so you know. I do that for like if Shuffle gets a corporate client or something comes up like that, that it's a pointed, specific, like you give me the information beforehand and that kind of stuff. And we would do what I usually do, like a Shuffle 101, which is just like the basics. And I do it live and I take questions. And then depending on what you tell me about the group, we can either do very specific 102 things, or if that's over everybody's head, we can do that as a separate. But we do,
record
we
those
can't
so that they
do,
can access them.
And that's the other thing I was just going to say, record them so you have an evergreen training. And what I love about those one-on-one or private trainings that Kathy's done is she can make it specific to the audience, the group, or the brand. So if you're specifically focused on authors or author speakers and coaches or things like that, that you can focus specifically, like, let's talk about creating our book card. Let's talk about creating our author card. Let's talk about creating our speaker card. We're going to go through step by step creating this card, and then that replay is available so it can be repurposed over and over again.
Yeah, I'd like to schedule that for sure. And it
Use
is
your
really
scheduling
difficult
card.
with this book, but generally, just so you know, that this is one of probably over 50 compilation books that this publisher and another one are doing.
Yeah.
So you want to make it generic enough that it can go from site to site, from page book to book. So thank you. I love you, Ruben, for putting that together, but it's just as overwhelming as going to YouTube. I look at up trainings. That's why we did those Wednesday nights, Kathy.
Right.
why we did them. I have them. I was actually just looking at some of them today.
And, Before we jump over to Jeff, Anna, you mentioned something that was one of the things I was going to get with Kathy and make for a topic today, but it'll probably waterfall over to next Tuesday. And it really deals with leveraging Shuffle for networking, guys. And here's what made me think of that. Anna, when you're talking about 15 authors, and then you're talking about access to millions of readers or people within that community and stuff like that, guys, the first thing that I think of is my network is my net worth. How do I build my network? How do I work my network, right? How do I generate referrals out of my network, right? And expand that whole thing. Those are things that we're going to start focusing on within Shuffle, because that was one of the areas where Shuffle was intentionally designed to support. And I know on a previous call, Guy mentioned this when he was talking about industry data on the size of industries. And I know we talk about digital business card being a $3 billion industry, which is huge. Guys, business networking is an $80 billion industry. $80 billion, right? 3 billion compared to 80, it is massive. And there's a lot of value to be had within business networking if you do it right. And Kathy, I know you are a master networker, and using this solution to, one, build your network, gather more contacts and do that type of stuff, and two, make connections and become a connector yourself, help people solve problems by connecting with the people that they need to know, has made you an invaluable resource to your network and sort of raise that credibility. And I believe all of us are capable of accomplishing aspects of that within our own business lives if we learn how to leverage the technology within Shuffle to do that as well. So I think we should spend some time maybe next week or the week after really talking about business networking on the Shuffle platform. So I know we're not going to do it with 15 minutes today, but
I'd also like to congratulate Carol Vinci for coming on board. Carol is 80 years old and has she worked for IBM since 1967.
wow.
Now imagine a woman at IBM in those days. You have an idea of what she went through.
Yeah.
She is also ADHD,
Wow.
which is a further thing. She has created a card deck for helping people identify, to become aware of how it works, to accept certain aspects of it and to take action. It's a card deck of 48 cards. We spent this weekend doing her main deck, which is like an overview, it's scrolling slides, whatever, but she is actually selling these on cardstock. She'll be selling the decks, but now that she's seen the technology of LFI, she knows she can have a link that they can access that card deck
Virtually.
on a digital business card and have it with them at all times.
I love that.
I
Magical.
love it.
Magical.
awesome.
And I feel like such an advocate, and I really haven't done much but to help her do these cards.
Oh, no,
Thank
I
you so
think
much
that's
for
amazing,
this
Anna. Thank you for sharing that story. The waterfall effect that happens, guys, it's not just about, think about this, and this is what Guy and I talk about all the time. It's that abundance mentality. It's not just about like, who are we getting to use a Shuffle card? It's the impact that happens when they use their Shuffle card to solve a problem that they encounter within their profession or their business or whatever they're working on. You know what I mean? The lunch we had, Kathy, keeps coming to mind where she's like, this card is used within our nonprofit to serve families in need every single day. Like when I hear that, I love hearing that 1,000 times more than when I hear from I just closed 6 figures using this card. You know what I mean? Like, yay, I'm glad you're generating more revenue in your business, but the social impacts that we can have within getting adoption of this platform is so powerful. So appreciate it, Anna, for sharing that. And thank you. Anybody who here has stories like that, keep them coming.
I always say I've trained from 18 to 80 because I've had customers for Shuffle that are in their 80s and they're just so cute and they just think it's so fun and I love it. That's a great story. That's fantastic. It just, I'm like you, makes me happy.
Gives her another income stream for the same project.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love it. What's up, Jeff? I know you had your hand up for a while.
Can I ask a newbie question? Sometimes I just like to ask because I think I know the answer, but I'm not sure. You can do buttons to make them go from point A to point B. Can we do hyperlinks with text inside of copy in the card?
I'm not 100% sure on that, Jeff. I know definitely not within the mobile builder. On the advanced builder within the text sections, I'm actually jumping into a card right now to validate. I don't think that's available. Meaning you can't underline it, like where you write text down, you underline it and you hook it to a link, but I want to check real quick. And then the other thing I would say is there might be, I hate to say it, a hack to accomplish that. If you actually took HTML reference tags to do like an href tag around it. I'm going to talk at a more technical level, guys, here. An href tag around the text itself. That when it goes to display it, it most likely won't display the ref tags, and it would display it as a hyperlink, the text going to where you want it to go. I'll dig into it. If that's possible, that would solve the immediate need. But there may be a thing on here where it is open. I just need to find a advanced builder card. In fact, guys, we'll just take a look real quick. I'm going to share my screen and I'll tell you right now.
Okay.
Great question. Again, just like we said at the opening, there are no bad questions, guys. We're all going to learn from this together. The technology has a lot. I mean, more than a lot, an abundance of power baked into it, guys. So
Are you just linking text? Tell me, I'm trying to
I'm going to show you, Kathy.
Okay, because
and correct me if I'm wrong.
I link text in the paragraph.
Yep.
Like
So in
hyperlinking?
here,
Like a hyperlink within text.
I'll explain why after you do your thing here, ER.
yep.
Okay.
Is this making sense, everybody? I'm just writing something, and you see where we have click here, right here.
So
Jeff,
highlight,
what you're talking about is making the thing here link somewhere.
Right.
right there, right
And it's
there.
right there. It's called a link.
Okay. So I thought, okay, I just haven't, and I'll explain. So you're doing the how-to. I'm going to explain why I'm asking and maybe give some applications as to make people think, dang, I should be doing that more. But yeah, are we going to test it?
So
yeah,
I
we can.
I do this on a my Plano Dots card. So I run a networking group, Polka Dot Powerhouse. And so on I have planodots.com, and all my meetings link to the main website. And so every meeting I put the date and I link it just like this, and then they can link to the website where they register. So I have multiple links in that one paragraph.
So let's go ahead and preview this card. Again, guys, we made a super simple card. All we wanted to test was the text and what Jeff was talking about, putting a little hyperlink. So click here to buy from me, and then we can see this is going to open up a new tab and just take them over to Google. The one thing is you can see here the link it's putting in. Okay, that tells me one thing. When you go in, we're going to edit this card again. The way you put in your links is very important, guys. I'm going to go back to the text section.
Oh, yeah, you got to clear it.
I have the here, and where I put in the link where we have Google, we just can't put in google.com, right? It's http:// right? That's the full URL. So that way on our end, when it displays it, it knows what it's linking to, okay? So we're gonna check that off. We're gonna hit save. We're gonna jump back over to our card here and refresh it. And guys, this is why I like doing it on the desktop, because I can have multiple tabs open and jump between the editor and the preview of the card. Let's scroll down and let's click on it again. And now we know it goes to Google.
Yeah, ER, I would add the what I do just to make absolutely doggone sure, because people are like, what is it, HTTP and is it PS or whatever? Go to whatever your link is going to be, LinkedIn, whatever you want it to, and then click up in the URL, make sure the whole thing displays HTTP or PS, then copy and paste that and put it in there. Don't sit and try to type ER can do it, but I guarantee you I would screw up. So I would rather go to the site, make sure that it opens. That's where I want that hyperlink or button to go. And then I'm going to copy paste, and then put it in the appropriate place. Is that clear on it for everybody?
And I think if I could add to that, Jeff, like what we're talking about is preparation and the way we build things. If you have your copy already written out, then it's copy and paste. If you have your tabs opened up for where you want your buttons to go, then it's copy and paste.
Yes.
And a copy and paste is a lot easier than typing on the fly. If you're typing on the fly, guys, I'm as much at fault at this as the next guy. I will transpose letters. I will misspell things. I will do all those things when I'm trying to be quick about it. But if I've got time to sit down and build my card, I've already written up, this is my Google document. It's going to say, yep, there, Kathy's got the example of those other ones. So just prepare yourself, make sure they open in other tabs, make sure you're putting in the right hyperlinks. Great suggestion, Jeff, to copy the whole hyperlink.
Okay, so that was sort of my help everybody question, but dang, I'm glad that because I haven't done that for a while.
Yep.
And I was also, I'm sitting here, I always take notes here, but I got looking at these little tablets me and my wife always get for free. And this, I cleaned my desktop, by the way, today. My daughter was making fun of my desktop because she programs and codes for Shopify sites. And I said, hey, would you look at my new funnel and just give me some design tips or anything? And so what I started realizing is that when there's a software that you can take your website or your LFI card. And I found some LFI cards. I think it's ER Guy. I think it's one of your standard templates. Mm-hmm. And you click it and it lays out on your screen in full length. So there's no scrolling. Do you see what I'm saying? The reason I'm holding this up is if this was an LFI card, you'd see this much, and then you would scroll, right? And, and you'd go like this. Well, what's kind of nice though, for me, because I'm so visual, I got to have that screen open up. I want to see the whole card so I can see, like when we were going through Ruben's card. Boy, I got, man, I just could take that thing and just, I mean, I love all the content, but I could really, what I'd just simplify that baby, because I've looked at a lot of kind of lesson and module and online course things. And the key is to make your big headline, what it is, your big idea, maybe a little subtext, the benefits of the thing, and then boom, give just that section, and then the image should match. So the image, I was like, okay, it's a cool image, but I'm not quite sure what it has to do with LFI cards. I mean, you really have to study. So the great thing is that most of the work is there, Ruben, but sometimes just taking, I mean, I'm just using this as an example, but it's to think of this as your LFI card or a mobile version, like which I have to get to now because I'm building desktop. Then I'm going to come over to mobile. And you guys can really create and get a much better mental picture. If you're a right brainer like me, I like to see, and I take a sketch and I will put my headline. This is going to be, here's my bullets. Here's an image. This is where, and so, you know, I take the template that we've already got through LFI Shuffle. And then it just, don't start doing this in your LFI card until, it's like ER said, open up your assets. If you go into Canva, wherever you get your little, you know, icons, your videos, whatever, open up all that stuff, get it ready before you even open up the LFI app. And then have next to you, or open up in a separate screen, something that is your prompt. You're hacking a video, you're hacking another card, or you're hacking a website that you say, dang, that looks really cool. I want to take that look and put it on my LFI card, but then put my product and service. But there's, you guys, there's 250 new websites being built every single day. And like I wrote in the thing last time, most of them really suck. And not that I'm the greatest, I don't even want to be a website builder, but you have to understand how web pages look, clean, gaps, a little bit, and then have them go off to, if they want FAQs, have them shoot off to an FAQ, but don't just bury your cards so they really lose the big idea. Because every one of your cards has to have a big idea. If I don't know the big idea in the first 3 seconds, I'm sorry, I'm not even going to scroll. So, and I think that applies to all of us, probably.
Well, I think it speaks most to, as we wind down today's Tech Tuesday, it speaks most to the 5th point of our 5 points for developing any page of the rules, right? Number 1 rule is, what is the goal? I'm going to keep saying this so we pound it into everybody's head, right? What are the elements that are going to support that goal? What is the order of the elements? Remember what we were just hearing about, taking that whole page view, and some of it you get to see and some of it you don't get to see. Guys, the order of the elements, there are things that are going to be above the fold, as they call it, on a card that comes from the newspaper industry, when you used to have a fold of a newspaper and what people would see above the fold. That's what's going to catch their attention. That's what's going to make them stay on the page. That's what's going to make them want to scroll through, right? So the order of those elements is important. Having calls to action for the person to take is important. And most important, even though it's last on the list, but most important, to Jeff, your point, is the design. Guys. I forget what this was. It must have been 20 years ago when somebody was talking about great web design. And we're in Colorado. This is Denver Broncos country, orange and blue type of stuff, guys. Doesn't matter how much of a Broncos fan I might personally be, I probably shouldn't use the Broncos colors of orange and blue on my website, right? So you have to think in terms of what your audience is going to see, what their experience is going to be, and you want to design to that. And the better job we do at putting together professional looking, artistic, nice, put together designs for our pages, the more likely we are to get the result of the goal of that card, and for somebody to move through it, and for us to raise the conversion of that. So even if you've gotten everything dialed in, what I love most is you can always come back and edit and edit and edit and edit and adjust your design till you dial it in, and then you're going to maximize the performance of your cards. If you're sitting there sharing your cards out and it's not doing what you expect it to be doing, that's the first step. Come back and look at those 5 elements within your card, or those 5 areas of your card. Oops, you're muted, Kathy.
I think what Jeff was saying, a good visual is like, think of a trifold, right? You're saying above the fold, but it's also like, what's your cover, and then what's the information that you read once you open it, right? So that might be your separate cards. Mm-hmm. That way, when the person sees it, you're presenting it in the sections you want them to see. First, take this in, then take this in, then take this in.
Exactly.
So, love that. I love that. I love the visual. Well, fantastic. See, look at that. Once again, we can get through an hour. No, don't even realize it's been an hour. If you guys need anything, need us, you know where to find us. Jump on Insiders, jump on Affiliates on Facebook. If you have any questions, drop them in there. We'll always get back to them either there or here. And if you have any questions about things you're trying to do, we'll cover them next week. Yeah. Did you have something to add?
I just had a thought when you said that, Kathy, especially since Ruben threw his card out there into the fire, which you got to know, iron on iron, man. We're here to sharpen. And so the thing is, what I'm not very good at, ER is going to pick up on, or what I'm not, you're the artist, you're going to pick up, or Kathy or guy. So the thing is it possible that every once in a while we say, hey, you know what? Can I take one of the cards that I've been working on or that I built and I'm not, and we throw it on there and we do a quick, because you see that all the time. There are audits where we just say, hey, you know what? If you're willing to throw yours in the fire, we'll all maybe give you 5 minutes or so. Is that an idea that we could kind of plug in?
I love that idea. I'm almost tempted to take it a step further, Jeff, and you throw it in the community and let the community attack it, so you get a lot more than 5 minutes. Just be aware of that.
That was my whole intent, guys. When I designed it because it was a big need.
Yes.
But that's a lot of people's times.
Yes.
But that I saved it for this particular community, and thank you so much.
I love the idea of being able to real time sort of address it, Jeff. To your point, maybe there's a time where we can do that at the beginning or the end of Tech Tuesdays, because it speaks specifically to the card build. I also think every time we get examples within the community, it sparks new ideas, maybe not to replicate that example or clone that example and use it, but even some iteration on that. So the more examples that we can share within the, the Facebook community and within the live call community, I think the more benefit everybody is going to get out of it, right? Oh, I never even thought about that type of card. Oh, I can't believe you're using the card in that way. All of that type of stuff. And again, the goal here is that we all create amazing cards that are worth sharing out. So I like that. You know, come prepared next time, guys. If you've got a card you want to throw into the fire like Jeff's talking about, bring it, and we'll all open it up and we'll go through it together and cuss and discuss it as we talk, as they say.
And thank you, Kathy, for years ago, she designed a gratitude card, guys. I use it for every time on Thanksgiving now, and I placed that in the chat as well. Thanks a lot, Kathy.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think it's worth the reminder, guys. Your cards don't always have to be about business all of the time. Business. Now is the opportunity to create your cards with the holidays coming up. There's so many different holiday events. My only secret to that is try to generalize them so you're not creating a personal card for everybody. But if you want to sing Jingle Bells and throw a holiday card out to people you haven't touched base with in a while, what a great video card. You know, hey, Jingle Bell, when you're done, if you'd love to catch up, book an appointment with me, here's the link type of thing. Or, a gratitude card with giving thanks. Thanksgiving is next week. That's ample time to put it together and sort of send one out to everybody.
You just stimulated a great idea. You know how my brain works, You've check this out, you guys. Who loves Thanksgiving dinners? Come on, we just can't wait. Sweet potatoes now will kill me. So I've had 3 anaphylactic and I love them. So everybody keeps the sweet potatoes away from me. But get this, here's a card, right? It's your pre-Thanksgiving, or it can be, whatever holiday. And you've got, if you guys are like cooks, I love sharing my dishes, my leftover gratin dishes on Facebook, and people love it, right? Or I see some woman, she's holding the baby and she's showing how to make this amazing thing. Well, how about this? You get what's called the LFI Shuffle Perfect the ultimate Thanksgiving dinner, right? And so then you take the best tips that you can borrow them, right? And then you do one of the videos or the little clips is about how to do the turkey. How do you do the green bean casserole, the mashed potatoes, little tips and tricks for each of the things. And all of a sudden you have this card and it's like, people would be signing up. And then, and by the way, if you love this card, and whatever, but you're providing value because you're giving people this thing that shows them just quick little ideas. And so they're not having to go here and there, and it's just boom, they can have their card open and click, oh, how do I do the turkey? How do I do the mashed potatoes?
It's a value add stuff, guys, right? Like, how come I always get the calendar in the mail from the real estate agent? You know what I mean? They're selling houses, not calendars, but it's because then I get to see their face for the next 12 months and all the other great things. This is an awesome opportunity to outreach to people and get back in front of them, right? So here are 7 easy sides for Thanksgiving. Wow, leading up to Thanksgiving when people are like, what the heck am I going to bake to take to Uncle Roger's house? Whatever that type of thing is. The other thing I would say is now is the giving season, guys. Now is the giving season. There are a lot of people on this call who work with a lot of nonprofits and charities. As the year comes to a close as well, at least, Guy, I know in my mind, wealthy individuals who are looking for tax advantages, some of their accountants are saying, hey, you have to spend some money, get out and spend to get these write-offs. Think about the things that you want to promote and stand behind from a nonprofit side and a giving side, and send those out to people during the holidays. Hey guys, I'm matching dollar for dollar, or I just supported this cause. I check out this cause type of thing is a huge opportunity. It made me think of the meal stuff, Jeff, when you said that there are a lot of places out there. It's like $1.50 buys a Thanksgiving dinner for a homeless person type of thing. We see those in Denver all the time. And I think that's a huge opportunity, again, to have another touch point and to raise your awareness of you in front of the eyes of the people that you interact with.
Yeah.
So be creative on the card
to the nonprofit. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Another project, Kathy.
It's always a project. There's always a project. I love it.
Can I interject real quickly before we leave? I just heard something interesting. I was on a networking event thing with Casey Everhart. I don't know if you guys know who he is, but he was saying about Shuffle that it's a great app, but people don't use it to its ability.
Yeah.
So just keep that in the back of your head as you're going through your day.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
All the
Thank you for
time.
doing that. Yeah. If we all used it to its ability, guys, I think we would all be blown away with what we would accomplish with it. I'm going to leave it with that.
Yep. I was going to say, Aaron and I just had that conversation yesterday.
Yep.
So, all right, you guys have a great rest of your week. Go get all those recipes ready and send gratitude cards out to everyone and have a good one. And we'll see you next Tuesday before Big Turkey Day. Bye, everybody.
Bye.